Hello, and welcome to the Happiness Project. The pandemic due to COVID-19 has changed the world today. Everyone has been affected one way or another, and many of us face life or death situations that could not prepare us emotionally and physically. Public health measures like social distancing are detrimental to stop COVID-19 from spreading, but they can make us feel depressed and even increase our stress and anxiety. You, the ones you care for, and those around you will become more resilient if you learn to deal with the stress in a healthy way. In today's video, we want to provide you some tips in coping with stress due to this pandemic and knowing when to seek help. However, this video is only intended to serve as a reference and should not be taken as professional advice. Subscribe and click the notification bell below so you won't miss out, and comment saying, "I subscribed," and we'll make sure to personally reply to them. Now, let's get started. COVID-19 fears can be emotionally draining, particularly if you already have an anxiety disorder. However, you are not helpless. These suggestions will assist you in getting through this trying time. How to deal with stress in a healthy way. Take a break from news stories, like those on social media, by viewing, reading, or listening to them. While it is beneficial to be aware, hearing about the pandemic on a regular basis can be distressing. Consider restricting your news consumption to a few times per day and taking a break from your phone, television, and computer screens for a while. Take good care of yourself. Take a few deep breaths and stretch out the muscles. Make an effort to eat nutritious, well-balanced meals. Exercise on a daily basis. Make sure you get enough rest. Excessive use of alcohol, tobacco, and other substances should be avoided. Follow the healthcare provider's recommendations for standard preventative steps, such as vaccines and cancer screenings. When a COVID-19 vaccine becomes available, get vaccinated. Allow yourself to relax. Make an effort to participate in other events that you enjoy. Make friends with others. Discuss your concerns and feelings with people you can trust. Make contact with faith-based groups. Try communicating online, via social media, by phone, or by mail when social distancing measures are in place. Another great way to deal with this is by aiding others in coping. Taking care of yourself will enable you to better care for others. It's particularly important to keep in touch with friends and family during periods of social isolation. Using technology has been a tremendous help to cope with stress, making you and your loved ones feel less lonely and isolated. Recognizing the fear. It's a terrifying moment. We're amid a global pandemic, with several locations shut down entirely or partially, and others trying to reopen in a healthy manner. Some of us live in places where the rate of coronavirus infection is increasing. Others are waiting to see what happens next. And we're all thinking, when is this going to end, as we read the headlines? The mystery surrounding coronavirus is the most difficult thing for many people to deal with. We still don't know how we'll be affected, how long it'll take, or how bad things will get. And it's too easy to get caught up in a downward spiral of dread and panic as a result. However, even in the midst of this unique crisis, there are also things you can do to control your anxiety and fears. Keep up with the news, but don't overdo it. It's critical to stay aware, especially about what's going on in your neighborhood, so you can take recommended precautions to help slow the spread of coronavirus. However, there is a ton of misinformation out there, as well as sensationalistic reporting that just adds to the panic. It's important to be selective about what you read and watch. Stick to reliable outlets like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the World Health Organization, and the local public health authorities. Reduce the number of times you search for updates. Constantly checking news and social media accounts may easily become compulsive and counterproductive, increasing anxiety rather than reducing it. Everyone's limit is different, so pay attention to how you're feeling and make adjustments as needed. If you start to feel irritated by the media, take a break. If anxiety is a persistent problem, try restricting your media intake to a particular time and day. Example, 30 minutes each evening at 6 p.m. Request that someone you can trust share important information with you. If you'd like to stay away from the media altogether, ask someone you trust to inform you of any big news you should be aware of. Also, be cautious about what you share and make every effort to double-check details before passing information on. To avoid spreading rumors and causing needless chaos, we must all do our part. Concentrate on the aspects of your life that you have power over. We are living in a period of great change. Many factors are beyond our control, including how long the pandemic will last, how other people will act, and what will happen in our societies. It's a difficult thing to consider, and many of us respond by relentlessly searching the internet for answers and imagining all the possible outcomes. However, as long as we concentrate on issues with unknowable responses and situations beyond our personal control, this approach will leave us exhausted, nervous, and overwhelmed. Try to turn your mind to things you can handle when you find yourself being swept up in fear of what could happen. You can't monitor how serious the coronavirus outbreak is in your city or town, but you can take measures to minimize your personal risk and the risk of unintentionally spreading it to others by doing things like hand washing with soap and water or a hand sanitizer containing at least 60% alcohol should be done regularly for at least 20 seconds. Keeping your hands off your face, particularly your eyes, nose, and mouth. And if you aren't sick, try to stay at home as much as possible. Avoiding large crowds and gatherings of more than 10 people, avoiding all shopping and travel that isn't absolutely necessary. When you're out and about, keep a 6-foot gap between yourself and other people. Having enough sleep is beneficial to the immune system. I'm taking all the health authorities' advice. Have a plan on what you will do. It's understandable to be worried about what could happen if your workplace is shut down. Your children are forced to stay at home from school, you or anyone you care about becomes ill, or you are forced into self-quarantine. Even though contemplating these possibilities can be quite frightening, being proactive can help lift at least some of the stress. Make a list of specific concerns you have about how the coronavirus could affect your life. Take a break if you start to feel stressed. Make a list of all the potential options that come to mind. Don't get too caught up on ideal choices. Include something that comes to mind as a way to help you get by. Instead of focusing on situations outside your control, concentrate on tangible problems you can alter or solve. Make a plan of action after you've weighed your choices. Set it aside when you're done and avoid the temptation to return to it before you need it or the circumstances drastically alter. Keep in touch even though you're physically separated. Many people with coronavirus and who are asymptomatic, especially young and healthy people, can still spread the virus. That is why the most important thing most people can do to make a difference is to practice social distancing. However, social isolation has its own set of challenges. Humans are sociable creatures. We have a hardwired link, and isolation can aggravate anxiety and depression and have a negative effect on our physical well-being. That is why, even when we cut back on in-person socializing, it's important to remain linked as much as possible and reach out for help when we need it. Maintaining contact with friends and family should be a top priority. If you're prone to withdrawing when you're stressed or nervous, consider setting up daily phone, talk, or Zoom dates to combat this. If in-person visits aren't possible, video messaging may be used instead. Face-to-face interaction is like a vitamin for your mental health, lowering your risk of depression and reducing stress. Not just for engaging with friends, family, and acquaintances, but also for feeling more connected to our societies, country, and world. Social media can be a powerful tool. It serves as a reminder that we are not alone. However, be aware of how social media affects your mood. Don't be afraid to turn off keywords or people that are making you anxious. If it's making you feel worse, log off. Don't let the coronavirus take over any of your conversations. It's critical to take breaks from worrying about the pandemic, to simply enjoy each other's company, to laugh, tell stories, and think about other things going on in our lives. Emotions are infectious, so choose your supporters carefully. During this time, most of us need reassurance, suggestions, or a sympathetic ear. However, be cautious about who you use as a sounding board. The coronavirus isn't the only infectious disease. Emotions are as well. Avoid discussing the virus with those who are pessimistic or who amplify and exaggerate the fears. Seek out people who are compassionate, level-headed, and good listeners in your life. If you don't have someone you can turn to for emotional help, apps are a good place to start. Take note of your physical and mental well-being. This is a particularly trying time, and all of the tried and true stress reduction techniques, such as eating nutritious food, having plenty of sleep, and meditating, are appropriate. Aside from that, there are several suggestions for self-care in the face of the coronavirus's unique disruptions. Be gentle with yourself. If you're feeling more depression or anxiety than normal, take it easy on yourself. You aren't alone in your difficulties. Maintain as much of a routine as possible. And if you're stuck at home, continue to stick to your normal sleeping, schooling, eating, and working schedule. This will assist you in maintaining your sense of normalcy. Make time for the things you love. Create something, whether it's a new recipe, a craft, or a piece of art, by reading a good book, watching a comedy, or playing a fun board or video game. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're not thinking about your problems. If at all possible, get out in nature. You'll feel better if you have some sunshine and fresh air. Even a short walk around the block will help you feel better. Only stay away from crowds. Keep your distance from people you meet and follow any local rules. Look for opportunities to get some exercise. Maintaining an active lifestyle can assist you in releasing anxiety, reducing stress, and managing your mood. You can always bike, climb, or walk while the gym and community classes are closed. If you're stuck at home, look for fitness videos online to watch. There are several workouts you can do without any supplies, such as yoga and bodyweight exercises. Self-medication should be avoided. Make sure you're not self-medicating with alcohol or other drugs to cope with anxiety or depression. If you're prone to overdoing things even though things are going well, it's probably best to stay away for the time being. Start a relaxation routine. Relaxation exercises like deep breathing, meditation, and yoga will help you regain control of your nervous system when stressors throw it out of whack. Most benefits come from regular practice, so see if you can set aside even a small amount of time every day. Assist someone. It will make you feel better. It's easy to get wrapped up in your own fears and worries at times like these, but in the midst of all the headlines about people battling over face masks or forming lines outside gun stores to arm themselves, it's important to note that we're all in this together. It's no surprise that people who put others first and help their communities, particularly during times of crisis, are happier and healthier than those who behave selfishly. Helping others not only benefits the community, and at this moment also the world, but it can also benefit your own mental health and well-being. Most of the anguish surrounding this pandemic stems from a sense of helplessness. Doing good deeds for others will help you regain control in your life while still giving it meaning and intent. Even if you're self-isolating or keeping a social distance from others, there's always a lot you can do to support them. Follow the instructions for stopping the virus from spreading. Even if you're not in a high-risk category, staying at home, washing your hands regularly, and avoiding contact with others will help save lives and keep the healthcare system from being overburdened. Help people that are in need. If you know someone in your community who is lonely, particularly the elderly or disabled, you can still help. Perhaps an elderly neighbor needs assistance with shopping or filling a prescription. To prevent direct contact, you can still leave parcels on their doorstep. Perhaps they just need to hear a friendly, reassuring voice on the other end of the line. Many local social media organizations will help you connect with people who are vulnerable in your community. Make a donation to a food bank. In many regions, hoarding has limited food bank stocks, while unemployment and economic hardships have significantly increased demand. Donating food or money may benefit seniors, low-income households, and those in need. Be a soothing presence. If friends or family members are experiencing anxiety, try to help them develop a better understanding of the situation. Refer them to credible news outlets rather than scaremongering or giving credence to fake rumors. In these tense moments, being an optimistic, uplifting force can also make you feel better about your own situation. Be considerate of others. Infectious diseases are not associated with any racial or ethnic group, so speak up if you encounter prejudices that only serve to perpetuate racism. We can also ensure that compassion and charity propagate across our communities even faster than this epidemic if we all have the right attitude and intentions. The effects of this pandemic outbreak is taking a huge toll on us physically, mentally, and spiritually. But there are things you can do such as meditation, exercise, calming exercises, and paying attention every day to seeking not only relaxation, but pleasure and warmth in your life are the best mental advice. The virus emphasizes the importance of a positive psychological response. And the good news is that meditation and yoga will help with anti-stress, which is linked to a healthy immune system. We'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this video? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these, and make sure to check out the description box below for our best recommendations to get you started. Also, check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.